Today we have a candidate that's running for Huntsville City Mayor, and he is Maurice Shingleton Jr. And it's good to have him on the show. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about his platform and what he's doing and why he's running for mayor. And welcome, Maurice Shingleton Jr., man. What's going on?
Hi, how you doing, Mr. Gaines? I appreciate being here. It is very much an honor to be able to speak with you. So I
Let's
cannot wait.
I'll tell you what, let's talk a little bit about your background and where you're from, man. I heard through the grapevine, well, really, I was reading. I read on your website that you're a military brat, man. What? You were
Yeah.
raised military?
Yeah, yes, sir. Both my parents, my grandfather, my auntie, they all, and my great grandfather on my grandmother's side, they have all been able to have the opportunity to serve our country. And
Wow.
it's amazing to be able to listen and sit and hear different stories and different point of views from the different places that they've been, and also experiencing the different places myself, and being a child,
Right.
going through different school systems and getting through, having to adjust to meeting different friends and different people. And it's like it's kind of hard sometimes as a kid. I tell you that it
Well,
was
you know what,
hard.
Maurice, I'm a military brat, so I totally understand where you're coming
Oh,
from. Army, was it Army, Air
yes,
Force?
sir.
Was okay,
Ar-
yeah,
ar-
Army. Every 4 years you got to pack up and move and go to a new
mm,
school system, a new city, a new fort, fort this, fort that, and you have to
Country.
readjust. How many forts
Mhm.
you been to, man? You already know.
I mean, shucks. Let's see. We got Fort Irwin, California. We got Frankfurt. I was in the fort over
Yeah,
there. Fort
man.
Bragg. Frankfurt, Germany. That was, oh my word,
Yes,
that was one of my favorite places. I
mine
miss.
too, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I miss it. A lot cleaner air.
beautiful
Just,
country, beautiful country.
oh my word! I love the fact that you can just go on the highway, and it's almost like you got a feel from from our country in general, but it looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah,
It looks a lot safer. It looks a lot more fun because it's it feels more open. It's different than when coming to the states because for Frankfurt, Germany was actually one of the first cities or the first places that I remember in my conscious itself that I can
right.
actually say, hey, I remember going to school here, actually being involved with my teachers and doing things like that. So I could say that it was a huge adjustment coming from different places, but Germany I loved so much.
Right, right. Beautiful country. And you've transferred here. Is that how you ended up in Huntsville?
Well, actually, what happened was that my parents, we after we moved to North from coming from Fort Bragg, my grandparents wanted the family on my father's side to come down and say, hey, we all want to stay together, try to be together. They had already left the army, so my dad said, okay. He got his bachelor's degree for teaching and education for Spanish. So he went out and he came down here. And got the job at Bob Jones High School, and then my mom started working for Redstone Arsenal. So it was just pretty much
Wow.
a family calling to come here, and it's been a it's been a huge blessing to be able to say that, hey, I can just literally go down the street to go see my auntie or my uncle, because it's not being able to see them as a kid and growing up without that support around all the time is a huge difference growing up, since I was in middle school and high school, a little
Right.
bit of college. It's definitely a huge advantage for I guess you could say in the mental stability, because family means a lot to me, and I
And,
know that
and how long have you been here in Huntsville? How long have you been
uh,
a resident?
12 years. I've been
12
here since
years.
2008. Yes, sir.
And so at being here for 12 years, you saw maybe a couple of mayors change. Is that you saw two mayors or just
I
one?
believe I think I only saw one, which is I believe it was Mr. Battle, because
Mr.
I
Battle.
believe
So
yeah.
you've been here and you notice how Mr. Battle or Mayor Battle was running the city. You had no issues in the beginning, but then you start seeing changes. What made Maurice say, hey, look, we got to wake up. We got to make some changes here? Because I guarantee that's why you're running for mayor, because something happened, something impacted you to say, I need to do something. I need to run for mayor. What was that?
So I'm going to go ahead and answer that with a little story. Firstly, I started this endeavor 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And what caused that is I was out there out at the protest on June 3rd. I was one of the ones that laid on the ground and basically protested, saying, "I'm not here for violence. I'm not here to, to try to start something, because I know for a fact that if you look at me, you're automatically scared of who you see because of my skin color and how big I am. I'm about 6'4", 198 pounds, and one thing that's been regularly told to me is that I'm scared of you because of your size." So, sorry, we're gonna get back to this, but June 3rd, I was driving home around 12, probably June 3rd, and June 4th, pretty much that morning, twilight morning to 12, 1 o'clock. I was driving home, and I kept remembering what was going on at the protest, that people were being as peaceful as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was that changed was that our legislators it had seemed that they had deceived us and left us, pretty much to be defense, pretty hurt us. So my thought process was asking myself and asking the Lord and Jesus. I said, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can we do as people? What can I do to bring myself to do something better? And I could do nothing but cry, because all of a sudden, I, God has said, you need to try to do your best on a leadership point. And when I finally got to the house, I opened up my phone, and then there was nothing. There was something about popped up saying, "Hey, mayoral elections is coming up. Sign up to try to vote." So I put myself on the ballot. So I did the smart thing to try to make a change in a small way, and then it noticed that I thought had saw Mr. Battle say he was running unopposed.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my mind, I said, what am I supposed to be thinking something about this? And then again, tears started rolling down again and again. And in my mind, I believe that I was not only do I have the passion to try to do something that is right, but I was also called for it on a higher plane. And it's amazing because not many times have I had that experience
Right.
when things were going wrong. When things were going right, when things were going wrong, when I had experience like this, it led me to a better decision to be able to help those around me and myself. And now, as I continue to do my endeavor, everything that I needed to do did nothing but come to me.
Right.
Almost like it was in the fall of my lap, but I knew that I had to keep researching. Every time I researched, someone that I knew or someone that I didn't know knew information that I needed, and it helped me so much. And I started learning, and I just know I want to continue learning on a higher level to be able to be the leader that our city needs. And right now, I know our city, and I believe our city needs someone that is willing to that knows how to understand and knows how to try to do their best to make things right. And right now, our city is plummeting before we can actually catch up.
So
I'm
are you blaming the way that Mayor Tommy Battle handled the situation, or the Huntsville Police Department handled the situation, and that made you think, hey, listen, we need to be more transparent. We need to start listening to the community, and we're not being heard. Is that what made you want to do this?
What made me want to do that heavily is that the fact that I had seen I've been a victim of police brutality before, and the fact that many innocent people that were out there at the protest had no idea that things were going on. The people that were walking in the park, not just the protesters, seeing those innocent people get hurt at the account of of police excessively using their force at the hands of not just the chief, but also Mayor Battle, because that is the police is an outstretched version of our leadership.
Right.
And if our leadership is in Chief McMurray, that he was supposed to protect those people, protect the protesters and the innocent, and if he did not do that, then how can we trust you to do something else on another scale?
Right.
And so my thought process was I do hold Mayor Battle, the Huntsville Police Department, and any other authority accountable for what happened, because the next week it showed that all we needed was a legislator sitting to be with us, to actually stay there the whole time for us to not get gas. And Francis Ackridge actually showed that. gave that example because she stayed there the whole time, and there was nothing, no officers messed with any protesters, other than the fact that they said that counter protesters were around. So seeing how our leaders treat how we are as black men, treat them how we get treated every single day, I've had enough.
Right.
I've had enough, and I know for a fact it's not just us, but I know we get affected more by the injustices because it's been generations that we've always been looked over, looked down on, and shunned because it has been shown that we can do more than what some of the average people have some of our average people can do because it is our drive and determination to do better. We are not here and I want to make the point that we are not here for revenge. We are here to make it right. And if we have to do it, if we have to put someone in place that actually has been through the struggle, been through understanding, actually knowing what it means to be oppressed instead of having other people just sit there and tell you about it, or statistics, because statistics do lie. Experience, firsthand experience means more to me than statistics do, because it is you cannot get the personality, the emotions, or the mental the mentality to come from just the statistics
Right.
instead of personal experience.
And that's
And
that's
I don't.
very important, very important. And I just got to ask, some people are saying, I don't think there's anything wrong with Huntsville. Huntsville's, it's growing. I go downtown, I see buildings coming up, and it's good for me. So why should I, vote for another candidate, as mayor of Huntsville, when Tommy Battles, to me, my perception is that he's doing a great job in the city of Huntsville. What do you say to those voters there?
To the voters, I say that your opinion does matter. But one thing I can say, it is not just you who lives in the city.
Right.
It is not just your life may be simple or may be nice compared to others, but the more we continue to build around the problems that fester in our cities, the worse it's going to get. Such as places like Los Angeles, places in California, or big name cities, New York, Philadelphia, and everything. One thing that we did that I believe that those cities did as they started growing, was they neglected the citizens. They let bigger businesses come in and take over and pretty much raise raise use use the citizens in poverty and homelessness to as an advantage to build their platforms even more. And one thing I believe is that if we can try to destroy that, or try to get our locals and getting our local business owners and our citizens more involved with the growth of the city, that means everyone, and not just in poverty and the rich place or the elites and high and grow together. No matter the stature, we can actually build a place where everyone can be comfortable enough to stay and want to live.
Do you still think that we have a ways to go as far as being a one Huntsville? They always talk about this one
Yes.
Huntsville,
Yes.
and I don't see that. I don't see one Huntsville. You
Mhm.
see North against the South, and you see all
Mhm.
of that. The money's going one
Mhm.
direction instead of the other.
Mhm.
So, do you see there's a problem there as a
I
one Huntsville?
I strongly do see that as a problem, because our for one, I'm going to use the school system as an example.
Okay.
Our school systems, they're based off property tax.
Hmm.
How our districts are set up, our districts are proportion to are literally proportion where whatever they get in the rich section, our poverty gets whatever we barely get in the poverty section, and then middle class gets their little section. Is the fact that we're basing our children's education and trying to be still one Huntsville, and our education system is totally different as long as we go to North Parkway, South Parkway, going to Madison County. All the school systems are different, but yet we're wanting to be on the same page. How can we be on the same page even if our education is where it starts? And if we can't even get that on the same page, then how can we expect to continuously be one Huntsville? We are definitely not one Huntsville. I've lived in the south part of Huntsville, north part of Huntsville. I've lived in Madison County. I've lived in Newmark. I've lived many places in the city, and it's different every time I go somewhere.
You know how different it is, and I'm not trying to be funny, but people are trying to get that Lysol. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And stores in the North End only get a few. But if you go down South Parkway, you see
Mhm.
shelves full of Lysol. That's I know it sounds funny, but that's the difference. Because I guarantee you, it's done purposely like that. If you
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying, they're going where the money is, and I think that is a major problem
Mhm.
because they want the black vote. They
Yep.
want them to go to the polls and vote for him. I mean, Mayor Tommy Battle, he's in order to win again, he's going to have to get the black vote, but the black will vote for him, but then he won't do anything for
Mhm.
their area as far as money wise, school, all of that. And I think that they always put the shiny penny on the North End to distract us from what's really going on the other end of town. If you understand what I'm saying, build them a school, build them something new. They'll praise it and say, hey, look, we're getting there, but we're not. We're so far behind that we need somebody in that position to really include all of Huntsville. Will you do that as mayor?
That I will, because in my short living, I've done nothing but include everyone in that surrounded me into my plans. I've done nothing but making sure that everything that I do that I do not only for myself, that I do for people that have something to do with me. And now that the fact that I know that there's an opportunity that I can bring everyone along the same path, and my thinking is to bring anyone up that has that has an idea or has an opportunity. Many people, many people do not get success because they do not have that one person actually sitting in their corner saying, "You can do it, and I'm going to be here no matter what happens." There's no one giving. Not many people are getting information and the care from leadership that we're getting now is because leadership don't care.
Right,
Our leadership does not care right now. What
right,
they care about is seemingly what they care about is making sure they do things small enough that can keep people keeping their votes. Why does it take 4 years for you to fix a road that's been working on for I don't know how long? You've
right,
shown is one thing that upsets me is that I've been driving around Huntsville a lot, and one thing I can see is that it takes 2 years during an election. For someone during a term for someone to actually finally get a road done. But what they prove is at that last 2 months is that you could have fixed that road a whole half a year ago a lot quicker than what you're doing now.
right,
But you're wasting our money.
right. And I was
We're
telling my
putting
wife the other day, it seems like things happen when election time comes around. Then they start unveiling and ribbon cutting and all this other stuff
mhm,
to show that, hey, look at me, look what I've
mhm,
done. It's like they save it until election, close to election, to
yep,
show what they have done. And it seemed like they're toying with the citizens with that. You know what
mhm,
I mean? So I think we just got to stay woke as far as what
yep,
they are actually doing for the citizens, like the average citizens, not the ones
mhm,
with a whole lot of money. You know what I mean?
right,
I'm talking about the average citizens like you and I. What are they doing for us? Are they really helping us? Or are they just showing us a little bit? And then the real story is over on the other side of town. So we
mhm,
got to have an inclusive mayor. And it sounds like your platform will be inclusive for all of Huntsville, which is very good.
yes, sir. That's
And
that's
I got one question. We're gonna wrap it up here in a little bit, but I got one question for you. What is your favorite food, man? We're gonna lighten it up. What's your favorite food?
Ooh, oh man,
Man, come on now. You
that's
got,
a
you got to
that's
do
an
this.
interesting one. To be honest, my favorite thing to eat is uh, fettuccine chicken Alfredo.
What, man?
Yes,
I'm
I
with you
I
on that.
I love to cook. I love to cook. That's actually what I went to college for. I didn't graduate all the way from Drake, but I wanted to get experience, and one of the things that always has been pertained to me is that I love Italian food and I love eating at a hefty portion, not
Right.
worrying about it later.
Right.
But
Hey, listen, I'm a foodie too, man. I love to eat, man. I love to eat, and that's one of my favorite dishes as well. Uh, just a quick thing. I'm going to give you this platform to tell the voters what they need to do to support your campaign, because August 25th will be here before you know it. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we need to
Right around the
encourage the
corner.
voters to get out and vote, even if they don't vote for you, just to get out and exercise
Make a
their right to
difference.
vote, especially local elections. They're very important. You can't sit there and complain when you don't participate. You really can't.
Right.
So I want you to encourage the voters to come out to vote. And as far as helping your campaign out, what do they need to do?
As far as helping the campaign, you can go to Maurice for Mayor, which is Maurice the letter for mayor.com, which it's going to be is my website, and also I am connected on social media, which we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And for Facebook, it's going to be Maurice for Mayor again, and same thing for Instagram. For Twitter, it's going to be Maurice S for Mayor for Maurice Shingleton. And I want to encourage our listeners and viewers right now, if you do not believe that your voice can make a change, look at what I'm doing.
Right.
I had no idea that you have to be 18 to run for that, 18 citizen of Huntsville for 90 days, and making sure you're registered for 90 days
Wow, I
to
didn't know
be the
that.
mayor. I didn't know. I had no idea. And I'm
18?
24.
Really? 18 to run for
18.
mayor. Wow.
18. I'm 24 years old right now, and for a while I did not know that I could make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But one way I know for a fact that we have shown that voting makes a difference, and where it starts is our municipal elections, because we need to make sure we're voting someone that is not only going to take us to a higher standard and put us all on a higher platform. We also need someone that's going to defend us when he goes against the bigger legislators, as in the people from the states and state representatives. We need someone that's you put people in power that will stand for you, and this is where it's going to start.
Well, listen, Maurice Shingleton Jr., thank you for joining us here on the Ed Gaines Show. Hey, listen, I know your dad's proud right now. What's your dad got to say? What's your dad got to say about all this, man? I know he said something to you about it.
Shucks, to be honest, my mom got to him before he did, but they both said it's about time you did something greater. My parents, and will say this with very much, when I'm about to tear up with this one, my parents have always encouraged me to be better version of myself every minute of the day, not every minute of the day, every second, be a better version of myself. And for a long time, I didn't really understand it.
Right.
I did not understand what that meant. But growing up, going through life as it is, I finally have an understanding that everything that you do has a cause and effect to someone else. And if you're doing something good for yourself and someone else, you're going to be helping them along the way, because they see the fire and the passion in you. They see that you want to drive to do something to help them. And that's one thing is that I want to spread across here, is that my parents knew before I did what I was going to, what I could be, what I'm capable of. And I'm ready to own that, because and it's time.
Listen, best of luck to you and your campaign. And next week, isn't it? Next Tuesday coming up?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, man. Hey,
Sure.
I wish you all the luck and blessings to you. And listen, if you ever need me, just let me know. We can do this again. All right.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm available whenever you are, sir. Thank you so much. I much appreciate it.
Hey, everybody, mayoral candidate, man, for the city of Huntsville, Maurice Shingleton Jr. Hey, man, have a blessed day, man. We'll see you soon.
You do the same.